Welcome into the recap. That is Matt Mervis. That is Pete Crow-Armstrong. I'm David Kaplan. Okay, Cubs convention is in the books. What was that like for you?
It was crazy. I didn't know what to expect coming in, but the amount of people that were there, how knowledgeable the fans were.
Crazy, right?
How happy everyone was to be back. It was crazy. It was a lot of fun. Great weekend.
How about for you?
Absolutely. It was overwhelming at times, but only in a positive way. You know, I think it was cool that we got to see the fans on a more personal level, rather than, you know, between fences or around fences. And I think getting to meet all those people coming through, it gives you a little bit better understanding of what's to look forward to.
So you guys got to walk around Wrigley the other day. You're out on the field. You're walking around looking at this ballpark. What is going through your mind?
Well, not only did we walk around, but then we stayed for a game later in the day. So kind of on the field envisioning playing there and seeing how, like kind of envisioning a full stadium and playing for a full crowd and how loud everyone's going to be, how excited everyone is for a summer of baseball, and then actually experiencing that with a game. It was unbelievable. I mean, that's obviously what we've been working for our whole lives. So just being able to step on that field and think, you know, this could be my future was something cool to think about.
How about you?
That was said pretty well. I think it's going to look a lot different with people in the stands, but yeah, you know, that's a historical place. So when you walk around that place, you're treading lightly. I think, you know, you got to respect the grounds. But yeah, I'm only, you know, looking more and more forward to actually playing there with people in the stands and people behind me yelling at me. And yeah,
okay.
You can show them the shirt. Yeah,
this shirt from our guy Joe here at Obvious Shirts says baseball is better at Wrigley. And that's a play on something Theo said in his opening press conference in 2011 when he got hired. Baseball's better when you win. Baseball's better in the sunshine. Baseball's better at Wrigley Field. So what does Wrigley mean? Because there's a lot of cookie cutter stadiums. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You walk in that place and it's just different.
Yeah, Pete just said it. It's sacred. It's a holy ground in the game of baseball, and there's so much history there. So many great players have played there. Obviously, the World Series in '16 was huge for the city. So, I mean, I agree. I think it's perfectly said.
I'm gonna sound funny here, but there's actually a smell to it that's different from any other ballpark I've been in. And I'm dead serious when I say that. There's a certain.
Describe it.
Gosh, I don't know. It you know, we went in early to mid fall and it smelled like summer. Yeah, it smelled like baseball.
You can envision a beautiful July day.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, you both are sitting here. You've got the MASH Mervis. You've got the PCA. Like, you don't see that stuff in other towns.
No, you
There isn't
don't.
an Obvious Shirts in other towns. How cool is that?
It's all credit to Joe. I mean, he's done a great job with me. I mean, he reached out through Twitter when I was in AAA. I mean, as a minor leaguer, I didn't expect that. I mean, the support we've gotten, the creativity he's had in designing the shirts and the communication, all that. I mean, I'm super thankful for what he's done for us.
It's amazingly cool.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's great.
I asked you this over the summer. You got traded to the Cubs.
Yeah.
Now you're a first-round draft pick. You're a property of the Mets, and you know everybody gets excited by that. And all of a sudden, your phone rings. Who calls you, and what's going through your mind?
Oh man, honestly, I think the man who called me is not even with the Cubs anymore. It was.
Does somebody from the Mets call first?
No, the Cubs called first, actually.
Hi, we've just gotten you from the Mets.
Yes, I don't know if I should really be saying that or exposing that information, but yeah, and I you know, I didn't take any of that to heart. Obviously, I owe everything to the Mets for starting my career. But I think, you know, you end up where you're supposed to be in the right time, in the right place, and I think that was clearly the Cubs for me, just in terms of how everything went down. And you know, it was surprising because I was hurt, and that was the last thing on my mind was going somewhere else except back to the facility to rehab on Monday, you know. And so I think it expanded my mind a little bit and opened me up to the new possibilities and just give me a better perspective on how the business works, because anything can change.
So when that phone rings and it's someone from the Cubs, who's the first person you called, or did you just sit down and go, hang on a second?
I called Ryan Hamill, my agent, and I said, what in the world? Because we had no prior knowledge to this at all. Like, we didn't think it was a possibility.
So you had to tell him?
Yeah, well, no, he kind of found out at the same time. It was just, I can't even really give you the best rundown of how it all went, because it was a blur, and it was. I was in the car on the way to go meet my agent and my parents for lunch in Florida. I'll just say that, and it was a little bit of a blackout moment.
So, did your parents know until you got to lunch? Or did you call them?
Well, they knew because I was late to lunch, and they were sitting with my agent, so my agent told them. Yeah.
Pete just got traded.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
My dad's a Cubs fan, so apparently he had his moment there, and then when I got there, he was like that, but yeah.
Pretty amazing.
Pretty amazing.
Okay, I don't know if it was a good thing at the time. It certainly has worked out. Jed Hoyer said to me, we had that guy targeted, and it was only a 5-round draft because of the pandemic. So when the 5 rounds end, you're sitting there, you're a free agent.
Yeah.
Were you ticked off, or, all right, I can pick wherever I want to go? Take me through that process.
Both. I think the draft ended on maybe a Friday. Mm-hmm. Saturday was off. Phone calls could start coming in at 9 a.m. Eastern on Sunday. So I gave myself the rest of the night Friday to be ticked off. And
how ticked?
You've seen me get out before. I get ticked.
Which is good.
It's passion. Yeah. That's how I describe it.
Right. This is your life.
Yeah. But no, I was angry. I mean, not at the teams or just the circumstances.
The process.
Yeah. Everything that I'd gone through in college and even beforehand, leading up to a good Cape Cod League 2019, didn't get signed there. Had a great start to my 2020 senior year. There goes the draft. So I was just mad at the world for the rest of the night. But then woke up Saturday and it was time to do my research. So I actually created an Excel sheet of all the teams that had shown interest before the draft, organizational depth, player development, left-handed power, all that stuff, and did my research. And I mean, the Cubs were one of the first couple teams to call. I'd been talking to Stoney a little bit, Justin Stone, before the draft, and he laid out a really good plan for what they see in my swing and what we can work on right away so I can hit the ground running. And it just made sense to me.
So did they reach out quickly on Sunday morning?
Yeah, I think he called at 9 on the dot.
Bam.
Yeah.
Here I am.
He was on the phone. We were texting the whole day. I ended up talking to a few other front office people. Rossi called me at some point. The further the day went on, teams started pulling out the big guns, and once I talked to multiple people at the Cubs who really showed interest and showed that they cared and had a plan for me, I knew I made the decision that night. I was ready to be a Cub.
Ready to be a Cub. And did you have any inkling at that point they're probably not going to have Rizzo back? His contract's coming up. Did you have some inkling to that, or no?
I don't know if I've said this publicly before, but part of my decision was if everything works out for me, if I'm ready to go in 2 years, what team is not going to have a first baseman? So I looked at Rizzo's contract, I looked at his age, I looked at the Yankees and their history of going out and getting guys, and for some reason, I picked right. He chose the Yankees. Those are my top 2 teams. He chose the Yankees, I chose the Cubs, and I got lucky. Yeah.
Okay, so
that's that Duke work ethic right there. that's some homework
pretty
right
good,
there.
Right?
I never done that much homework in my life.
I work when I care about something.
Yeah, that's fair.
How much fun is it to go to work and you can wear whatever you want and you can bust balls as much as you want? Like, that's got to be, obviously, the money and the career, all that. But to get up every day, walk into the locker room and just start busting on each other, that's got to be awesome.
That's what it's all about. We have a great time together. That's something we kind of talked about at the convention, was the camaraderie that kind of sticks out to those who aren't a part of what we do. And, like, for example, right now there are a handful of us are at a camp in Arizona, early work, getting in, like, a little post-New Year's thing. And we had somebody set up a ping pong table in their living room, and so we've just been playing ping pong for like 4 to 6 hours straight every day. We get out, 1 o'clock, and we're all just together hanging out.
It's a good vibe.
It's a great vibe, and the Cubs, they do that on purpose. They put us together on purpose, and it works, man. Like, it'd be one thing too if they were putting us together with people that didn't mix, but clearly we all mix, and that's the thing that sticks out to me the most is like, this is like there's gel here, and we all want to play together at some point in the big leagues. We all have perspective, and we know that that may not happen, but we also have a lot of guys that are big league ready for other organizations if they don't stick. And so I think perfect world, we're all playing together here, but we just like each other that much, and we want to play for each other that much. So yeah.
And that speaks to showing up in the locker room every day.
Yeah.
I mean, I was at 3 different levels this year, and I walked in the first day at every level, and the guys greeted me, even AAA guys who I'd never spoken to before, guys in spring training that I hadn't seen. We had veterans that come in first year on their contract, and I felt welcomed right away. I'm sure if you speak to guys who've been traded, we were talking about Hayden Wisniewski earlier. He showed up in the locker room in Iowa and immediately made 30 friends. I mean, he's that kind of personality, and it speaks to what he was saying about the Cubs doing a great job of finding good people, good personalities, people that are going to work well together. So
sorry to interrupt. It's also top to bottom. Like this weekend was a great example of that. You got the whole 9 yards. You have the alumni, and you have the big league team, and you have the big league staff, and everybody is just, hey, how you doing? Happy you're here. Him hanging out with big leaguers post convention and stuff like that. It's just, it's nothing extra. People are just good people here. Simple as that.
So you're ready. Where are you going to start this season, do you think?
Plead the fifth. That's not up for me to decide, so I'm not going to comment.
So
respectfully,
wherever they put you, you're good.
I'm going to wake up every day and play baseball. I get to, like you just said, it's the most fun job in the world. I get
Can't get better. My job's pretty cool.
Your job is cool, but I get to show up and play baseball every day, and I'm going to play as hard as I can, and I'm going to work until I am in Chicago, and I'm going to work to stick in Chicago. But where I start the year is not up to me, so I'm going to do what I can in spring training and go from there.
Last year, people have written, well, this guy just had an amazing year. He exploded. What changed, or did you know it's coming?
I knew that 2021 was a fluke. A lot of people are saying he came out of nowhere. I knew that 2021 was a setback for me. First year in pro ball after COVID, didn't feel comfortable with my swing most of the year. Not excuses, just I think factors that went into me struggling. I'll admit completely that I had a bad year. But early on last season, I felt comfortable. Probably the third week of the season, just took a swing and felt that's what I need to feel every day. So I just simplified. My early work or pregame work or BP all led to finding a good feel in my swing that I was comfortable taking into a game. So I didn't have to worry about mechanics or, my head wasn't cluttered or anything like that. Just try to keep it as simple as possible.
How about for you?
Wow.
I saw you in South Bend.
Yes.
Your year was...
I was proud of myself. First full season. I think I'm still kind of coming off like the high of how fun that actually was. So it's kind of hard for me to, go back in the next year not just wanting to play. Like I'm really not worried. Like Merv, I'm gonna wake up every day and go play baseball just like that guy is. And I couldn't care where the cards fall.
Wherever they tell me, I just go play baseball.
That's it. That's what I signed up for. That's what I want to do. I want to go play with the boys out there and go win more baseball games. Like winning last year was fun. Second half specifically, when I got to South Bend, we were tail end of the first half of the season, I think, and we were still below where we wanted to be. We were third place, I think, finished third in the first half, and having like something to shoot for, something to get better on that second half of the year was really good for that group of guys, I think. And that's contagious and infectious almost. So, next year, whether it's AA, whether it's South Bend again, whether I'm in Myrtle Beach or the AZL, like, I'm just going to go play Cub baseball, and that's going to be fun for me.
And hopefully it all leads
to here,
right down the street.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Freaking amazing.
Yep.
Pretty amazing.
We were talking earlier about how our paths are so different. I mean, first round high school star and 24-year-old, 23 at the time, undrafted free agent in college, and now we have the same opportunity. It's crazy where baseball takes you.
Correct.
Yeah.
And there's somebody from the Dominican or Venezuela.
Mm-hmm. Kevin Alcantara was here this weekend.
Yeah.
Right.
Amaya's from Panama.
Yeah.
Manny Rodriguez from Mexico.
Yeah.
I mean, and we all meet in Chicago.
Yeah.
Correct. Yep, and you never know when it could be the greatest game ever played was on a Wednesday, and you guys are in.
That's right.
And the Cubs win again.
Yeah.
Pretty freaking cool. Thanks for your time.
Thank
Thanks a
you.
lot.
Appreciate
That was
it.
fun.
Always.